How's it going, everyone? Skipper VR here. Hope you're having an amazing day. And what was the first game that really stuck with you? Just think about it for a second. It could be anything, VR or not. It could be all the good memories you made with your friends playing Black Ops 2, or maybe the vast open world of something like Skyrim, or maybe the charming characters and gameplay of Undertale, or maybe the first time you really hung out with someone in VR chat. We all have these memories, and we'll never forget them. Now, I certainly have a handful of these games that made me feel like this before, but the one game that really stuck with me because of its amazing graphics, story, and groundbreaking physics-based gameplay is BONEWORKS. For the past few months, I've been going through all of my old favorite games and playing through them, and I was thinking about what VR game stuck out to me the most so I could potentially make a video on it. And after some time of brainstorming through my options, I immediately decided on BONEWORKS. I mean, I love VR chat and Half-Life Alyx as much as the next person, but BONEWORKS is on another level to me. So sit back, relax, as we go over the genius of BONEWORKS. Alright, very quick spoiler warning. I highly recommend you check this game out first if you haven't already, and then come back to the video. I'll be waiting for you. Now, BONEWORKS is a physics-based VR game made by the development team Stress Level 0, known for their other VR games such as Duck Season and Hover Junkers. Personally, I was a huge fan of Duck Season because of the story and overall sinister vibe. It was just very appealing to me, so I was super hyped for their next game. But their next project took a completely different turn and was something nothing like the original two games. The game took a completely different route for something more basic, a first-person shooter, but this game is something much more than that. On December 10th, 2019, Stress Level 0 dropped BONEWORKS to moderate to high critical acclaim, with a very positive on Steam, a 72% on Metacritic, and a 7.9 on IGN. And when the game first dropped, I couldn't get my hands on it because I didn't have a PC, and this game is a PC VR exclusive. And just for a second, shout out to everyone who just has an Oculus Quest and not a PC. Y'all get way too much hate from PC users, but they never take into consideration that you guys are the ones helping VR turn mainstream, and I just think that's pretty special. I just wanted to throw that in there real quick. But all this being said, I wasn't able to get my hands on this game until almost a year later after this game dropped, on either December 9th or December 10th, I can't remember. I was ecstatic. My Oculus Link was coming in the mail and I had already had the game downloaded on my computer. Once the doorbell rang and my package was on the floor, I ran to my room and stayed there for a big portion of the day. Once I fired up the game and got everything situated, I was met with the starting screen. Now, this is the first thing you see in this game, and all it is a giant glass box with a hyper-realistic grassy field. It was mind-blowing to see for the first time, since I'd never seen anything like that in VR up to that point. And I remember thinking to myself, if I'm blown away by the calibration setup, what am I about to get myself into? I then set everything up, and then the first cutscene started to play, and I couldn't wait to get into the real gameplay. I then made my way over to the museum, which is pretty much like a tutorial, but it's done so well you can't even tell that you're learning how to play the game. The level is iconic and perfectly sets the tone for the game as soon as it starts. And as soon as it's over, you're completely immersed in this world, and it's actually pretty trippy if you've never played something like this before. There's this one part, if you play this game before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You see a wall and it's the same view as the field from the beginning. As you walk up to the wall and give it a touch, it turns out it was just a screen and you can enter the next room. It was pretty crazy to experience for the first time. You then go through the tutorial, solving a few puzzles and trying out some melee weapons, and then you make your way into the real game. The campaign on this game is absolutely outstanding. It isn't the longest game I've ever played, it took me around 9 hours to finish 100%, but every second of this game you are completely immersed. Some level highlights are the Mythowest City, where you go out into the ruins of an abandoned city and fight your way through hordes of AI husks. The train station level, this part has amazing visuals, and the climax scene where you fight a clone version of yourself so you can become king of the clones and have a group of clones follow you around. Yeah, it's just as confusing as it sounds. Now, the gameplay of this game is what really takes the cake here. The physics in this game are outstanding and mind-boggling at some point. It's to the point that other AAA VR games are disappointing because BONEWORKS does it so much better. The gunplay in this game makes you feel like a total badass. It gets the reloading system so much better than any other VR game I have played before, except for Pavlov, which has a very similar reloading system to this game. You feel like a character straight out of an action movie when you pull the magazine out of your pouch, hit the other magazine out of the slot, place the new mag in the slot and pull back the hammer, and then fire at oncoming AI zombies hunting after you. Every gun in this game feels incredible to use, from a normal pistol or an Uzi to a full-on AR gun. One thing this game uses in its favor is ammo scarcity. You have to make sure that you check every little spot for an extra pack of magazines, or else you might not make it against the next bad guy. It's also much harder to conserve your ammo when there are vending machines. The vending machines use ammo as currency where you can purchase different weapons and in some cases keys to different rooms. You have to stretch all of your ammo because you never know what's around the corner. The enemies in this game are also perfect. They're either these orange AI husks or these gray AI husks or these evil VR headset crabs, which are the hardest things to kill because they don't stop moving. It's just impossible to kill these guys. But the combat in this game feels so crisp and smooth if you're good at the game. You can go the easy route and just use a pistol and all the dexterity you have to headshot the enemies, or you can go guns blazing and spray whatever gun you have, or you can just use knives and swords and go full stealth mode and run through and slice your way through the enemies. It works really well either way. It feels even cooler when the soundtrack is bumping in the background. The soundtrack for this game is just phenomenal. Every track is just a banger from beginning to end. The entire OST is full of synth-heavy songs that make you feel like you're doing the coolest thing anyone has ever done, even though you're only attempting to finish a puzzle for the 8th time. It's really that good. A few of the songs have a similar vibe to the Stranger Things soundtrack, which I really like. It sounds like one of the main sources of inspiration. If you want some chill songs to listen to, I would definitely give this one a listen. One thing I'm not going to get into that much is the story. It's incredibly intricate and well thought out that I could make a whole other video on it. It's unique because this game has a surface level story and a very well hidden story. It's much more complicated than any other work of fiction I've seen in the last few years. If you want a good video to check out on this subject, Game Theory has a great series on this game where he explains the entire Stress Level 0 saga. And yes, I'm recommending you watch Game Theory, but he does a great job explaining the whole thing and keeping it entertaining, so I'll link it down below. This game doesn't end after you finish the campaign though. There's actually a bit of a scavenger hunt where you have to go through the different levels and find unlockables that unlock different mini-games, like Arena where you fight hordes of AI with different types of weapons, or Zombies, which is pretty much like COD Zombies but in Boneworks. This game is a lot of fun to speedrun through as well. The record is 13 minutes, so if you're up to the challenge, give it a shot. Boneworks is a truly mind-blowing experience. The amazing level design, the banger soundtrack, and the unique and well fleshed out gameplay is unlike anything I've ever experienced before in VR. This game to me is pretty much pure genius. But that's going to be it for today's video. I wanted to try out a bit of a new format, so let me know if you liked it by hitting that like button, and of course, if you didn't, it wouldn't hurt to let me know why. Have an absolutely amazing day, have fun exploring that virtual world, and as always, take care.